Is the church building part of the proposal, included in this proposal? The church building?
Yes.
So then it would be up to you to decide what size church to build on that footprint. Is that correct? Okay. And have you driven
Wait,
down
wait,
to?
the court reporter needs to take down verbal answers, they can't just take down shakes of the head, so if Mr. Gibbons or
Let me interject, because I don't want this point lost. What we're trying to do, ma'am, in this application is propose a building envelope large enough that if my client decides to build smaller, they can do that. If they propose 25,000 square feet and they want to build 30,000 square feet, they have to come back to this board to seek an amendment of their conditional use approval. So what we've tried to do is propose building envelopes for these structures large enough that we don't have to come back, but if we build smaller, and I believe it's the applicant's intent with respect to the worship building to build smaller, it gives us that opportunity.
And what about height of the building
35 feet maximum height restriction
for the church also?
for all buildings, yes.
Is that true? Yes.
That is true.
And my second part of my question is, have you driven down Timacool Road?
I have not.
And have you driven down Timacool Road?
Today.
Have you driven down Timacool Road?
just a note for the record, he's the attorney representing the applicant, he can't give evidence.
Okay. And the supervisors, have you driven down Timacool Road?
And again, the board is sitting as the judge.
I know, but I gotta
think we get your point, ma'am.
It's very important. Please drive down Timacool Road. And up.
Mr. Cook? No questions? Okay. Ms. Manor?
No questions?
Ms. Scott? Did you say no questions, Ms. Scott?
Yes. Just one. It might
Long
be,
one, right?
it might be, my question would be in reference to the trees. I believe I heard you say that trees would be removed from the proposed parking area of the rectory and also at the location of the rectory. What are the size and, you know, and there is township regulation regarding trees. You have to replace the same number. I don't know what the exact rule is, but that concerns me greatly that virgin forest, virgin trees are going to be removed for a parking lot and for a building. And I would want the same size placed in another area.
Well, with all due respect, Ms. Scott, we will comply with what the ordinance requires us to do, not particularly what you would like to see. So, but we will, if we have to replace trees, we will do it.
Well, I do believe in Mr. Howe's presentation at another development, and I was quite disturbed that it was waived, that he didn't have to replace them, Mr. Howe being your employer. So, how many trees are we talking about?
I don't know the number of trees at this point. We'll have a landscape architect do the analysis of what's being taken down, for the ordinances, what needs to be replaced. You are correct, there's probably a certain size that requires a certain number of trees, and that'll all be spelled out on the proposed landscape plan when we come back for land development.
Which will be, much later on, not during this year.
Correct.
Thank you.
Ms. Melcher?
I'm good.
Questions? Mr. King?
I live on Catling Drive, which is kind of right, yeah. So I just am curious, I guess it'll be done much more extensively, but tons of water pours through there in a storm. off of those fields, right down through, so, you know, will that be stopped? I'm curious, or, you know, regraded, or anything you can say about it for now?
And I'm not quite sure where you're saying the water's pouring down through, but I can tell you,
Well, straight right through, see the, yeah, I mean, basically straight down Kathleen Drive. Through that field, it's almost like a V, yeah, exactly, right that way, just
to the
like,
road.
yeah, yeah.
Can you indicate for this one order and for the record, kind of where you're indicating, Mr. Gibbons?
So referring to exhibit A by E, I was pointing from just a quick glance at the plan and the gentleman's comment, he was saying that stormwater currently flows down Kathleen Drive to the east to Mount Carmel Road, correct?
Yeah, yeah, northeast, yeah. Like basically that straight line that's running this way, right in the center of it, like all the land slopes towards there and it all just pours through there, you know, it's like a river during a big storm. And it's all coming off that land, so I'm just curious, you know, if that would be stopped, or if it could become more, or.
It will absolutely not become more, I can tell you that.
He means by regulation, we can't.
Right,
Right.
right.
And typically, with some of these situations, we do end up cutting off some runoff with our roads and capturing it in our inlets. I can't say that for sure, but I can tell you that it will not be increased. But once again, we'll look at the full stormwater, big picture, and detailed design if we move forward.
Mr. King, I think I can speak for my client that some of these issues coming up tonight, we can start to pay a little bit closer attention to, like screening and this type of an issue. So we'd be happy to take a little closer look at it.
Ms. Bastings? And Mr. Rhodes? Buddy, do you have any questions for the witness?
Yeah. Did you have anything like a catch basin over here, catch any of this water? Is there any catch basins?
It's kind of indicating on the eastern portion of the site.
Yeah, well, where, the gentleman, the township spent a lot of money putting pipes down here on Mount Carmel Road. Gentlemen, some of you weren't on the board there, but we put pipes down through there to catch the water coming down Mount Carmel Road. But a lot of the problem, you can see the steep slopes. You know, it don't take a giant to figure water's gonna come down there. And these people here are getting the repercussion of it. So, the other thing, I think it should have been brought up, and I know the gentleman talked before about it, the water line, there was a discussion with the, and I knew the supervisors at that time, and I would have to check back through the minutes. Those guys came after me. But in reference to, there was talk about the water line going up there and the sewer line. There's a water line coming out of Valley Township. All you have to do is come across Strasburg Road and come right down Mount Carmel. That was, handled a lot of the problems that the residents brought up tonight about water problems. You just told me, East Fallowfield has problems with water anyhow, hard water. All right, a lot of people have filters in them. In reference to your septic systems, I think the one gentleman brought up, he got 3/4 lots. You got a lot of rock there. The other problem I do see in reference to, you call it emergency, Emil Myers, not Emil Myers, Mr. lives down here on Telmaco Road. That's a steep slope. There's a lot of rock. You just talked about modified. What we do most of the time in emergency routes for fire engines and stuff, you can go right here up Park Avenue and the other ones. They have pavers with grass that grows up through them. You need something that is going to there. I can tell you right now, I've been in road construction for a long time. That steep slope, that modify ain't gonna hold up. It's gonna wash down with what you call a 100-year storm. I've been hearing this so much about 100-year storms, engineers, not to knock your profession, but there's so many 100-year storms that we're having problems with developments we have now. These gentlemen here, get bombarded every meeting with different developments already in. And of course, engineers designed the catch basins, but they're not holding up. They fill in, because they don't put the grass there, all this topsoil washes down into them, all right? But in reference to that emergency, and that, you say emergency, it will happen. You know, that's what the fire engine's for, an ambulance, you know, if you're gonna have X amount of people up here, you're gonna need that there, and I'm not for modified. 2A modified, 3A modified, whatever. You either put a binder and a top on it, or you put pavers down through there. And you can put grass grows up through them, and they will hold the fire engines. All right? And I don't know why you don't entertain, financially, it would help the development if you did want water and sewage. All right? Because I can tell you right now, even the septic system, there's a lot of rock there, and you can video that. There's a lot of rock there, and there's, even if you put sand, that slows the perks. All right? And a lot of those don't hold up. I can tell you one right across in this township, though. It was a sand lot, sand mound. It didn't hold up. And you just mentioned the one didn't perk. I don't know who did your perks. You know, 'cause what you do, you do different perks all around there, and you see how much the water goes down and level. If it perks too fast, that tells me you're going to need sand to slow the perk down. So if you're going to all of a sudden say, for this lot here, it's going to hook into this septic system, you're going to overload that there. I don't care if it's just 2 people in there or not, you know. So that's what I have. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Gibbons, am I correct that part of the stormwater management planning for both the road and the proposed units will be addressed either in response to the township engineer's review letter with respect to the comments he raised and/or during the land development process?
Absolutely, it'll be fully ironed out during the land development process, absolutely.
But you plan to make comment at the next conditional use hearing, I understand correctly,
With
right?
respect to the township engineer's review letter?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's the end of the list of the additional parties who would, I understand that Mr. Gibbons will be back at the next hearing. You can set a date and moment. Just